Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening po sa lahat. Saan mong panig po kayo ng mundo naroon. Welcome po to our 192nd, 192 episode po of our Health Updates webinar series. Thank you for being part of our credible online community, and to all those who have just discovered us for today and really just joining us for the very first time, welcome po. At sana po marami po kayong matutunan sa ating topic for today. Napag-uusapan po natin the National Newborn Screening Program. It is a vital public health initiative. Pero po napansin niyo po no, marami pong na-disrupt during the COVID-19 and maybe kapag nagkakaroon po ng mga disasters, not just mga pandemics, those can disrupt this critical service. So for this week's episode, we will be discussing strategies to maintain yung continuity of care for this program, ensuring timely diagnosis and intervention for newborns with congenital disorders po, even in challenging circumstances such as public health emergencies. We'll also take a peek into the technological advancements that improve efficiency and accessibility of the newborn screening program. I'm Dr. Raymond Francis Sarmiento, Director of the National Telehealth Center, National Institutes of Health, University of Philippines, Manila. Always a pleasure to be with all of you during our regular Friday, and always honored and humbled that I get to share my hosting duties with one of our program foundations po, Dr. Stella Marie Jose.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Raymond. I am Dr. Stella Marie Jose, formerly the Deputy Director for Health Operations of PGH, and I welcome all our participants here in the live broadcast of the Zoom webinar, and to all those watching via live streaming on PBUP YouTube channel, as well as the UP System Facebook page, the TVUP Facebook page, and the TVUP Signal TV channel 101. Our panelist for today is a very esteemed national scientist, Professor Carmencita Padilla. You will hear her presentation later on. Our reactor for today is Mrs. Divina Barameda, who is an active advocate of newborn screening. Our new program is now called Health Updates. We have done a little bit of reformatting for our program, but we are maintaining the same high quality, then leveling up to take a closer look at existing and emerging health problems in the Philippines and in the world today. So now we will, Raymond, we'll have our person on the street video.
Thank you, Dr. Stella. For today po, and also just for everyone who's joining us for the first time, we always set our discussion into context by watching po a very short video that's week in and week out produced by the TVUP team. So before we dive into identifying and managing potential challenges in newborn screening, we will see and take a look po dito po sa ating short video wherein we interviewed po itong mga tanong po natin sa ating interviewees. Narinig nyo na po ba ang newborn screening at saan nyo po nabalitaan ang newborn screening? Ano-ano po ang mga test na kasama rito? At para sa mga nanay o para po sa mga lola, pina-newborn screening na po ba ninyo ang inyong anak o apo? Ano po ang inyong karanasan tungkol dito at ano po sa tingin ninyo ang mga benepisyo ng newborn screening? Please watch this.
Yes, I actually heard of newborn screening when I first gave birth to my first son.
Yes po. Center.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Nung nanganak ako.
I actually researched about it, and it states that newborn screening can detect rare and serious conditions na pwedeng i-treat sa mga babies.
First off, kasi newborn screening is a hospital protocol. So, talagang SOP siya, yung when you give birth. So, after nun, talagang may newborn screening.
Oo, I actually had my 2 kids screened when I gave birth to them. So, after before 24 hours giving birth, na newborn screening na sila sa hospital.
Kinuha na naman siya ng dugo sa daliri at saka sa paa. Para makita kung meron nga siyang sakit na simula baby pa siya, na mahalaman yung sakit niya.
Nagtitest din sila ng G6PD. G6PD is glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. I think parang condition to na sa enzyme ng baby.
When the nurses actually asked to to get the babies na from the room. Ang alam ko, dinala nila sa parang may isang area, and then parang they drew blood from the feet ata yun to check for the newborn screening.
Yun nga, bago kami ilabas, pinaalam sa amin kung kailan siya malalaman, kung iti-text kami kung meron man siyang sakit para makabalik agad kami na maagapan.
Wala kasi wala ako dun yung nag-newborn screening. Hindi mo siya actually makikita yung newborn screening. Yung between the doctors, nurses lang siya. Tapos ipapakita na lang nila sa yung result kasi I was in the room. So wala, hindi ko nakita actually. Yung mga results na lang ng newborn screening test yung nakita ko.
So I think it's very important to undergo newborn screening sa mga newborns, since para ma-check kung ano yung mga rare and serious diseases na pwedeng maagapan agad.
Para nga malaman namin kung may sakit na ba siya. Kasi minsan pag di mo pinap-newborn screening, malalaman mo bakit may sakit na ganito, ganyan.
Makikita na agad yung kung ano yung mga need ng like medical attention ng baby, ng newborn baby, or kung meron siyang mga something like defects, ganun, physical defects, ganun.
Sa newborn screening kasi makita agad kung anong sakit ng bata.
So, treatable siya. Sabi, treatable naman daw siya basta ma-detect agad. So, I think it's very beneficial para hindi na ma-prolong kung may underlying diseases yung mga bata, para safe din sila.
Okay, thank you so much, TVUP. Well, that's a lot to digest, and I hope we'll be able to tackle a whole lot of the mga katanungan din po nila with regards to the newborn screening program. And very well, personally I'm very pleased to hear na marami po nakakarinig, and very much na marami po nagpa-participate on this one. Before we proceed po muna sa ating webinar proper, we'd like to announce all of those who are asking that certificates of attendance have been given to those who have fulfilled po yung ating requirement, which is be able to watch at least 50% of the webinar duration. So from webinars 1 to 191, we've been able to send out yung ating mga certificates of attendance, and we have been responding to inquiries po being sent to our email address, UP email address. So please, if you feel you should have received a certificate but did not, or if you have any other inquiries, please let us know by emailing us. For today's webinar, we'll have a standard panel discussion format. We have one main speaker and we have a reactor po, and that will be followed by a Q&A session. So without further ado, I will let si Ma'am Stella po introduce our main speaker.
Our main speaker is National Scientist Professor Carmencita Padilla. She was a former chancellor of the UP Manila. And so we would like to welcome Dr. Padilla and for her presentation. Ma'am, take it away.
Maraming salamat for the opportunity to share the program. So let me just share my screen. Am I okay?
If you can go to slide
Yes,
presentation, NS. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you. So today I'm going to give you a preview into the updates of the program and what we did during the disaster and the recent pandemic. So I'll give the milestones of the program. I will give you the factors of success and the continuing challenges, the lessons that we've learned through the years, and then how are we going to move forward with the program. So it is a universally accepted public health program aimed at the early identification of infants who are affected by certain genetic, metabolic, or infectious conditions. So actually, you get the blood from the heel of the baby. It's the safest spot where we get the blood. And pwede naman po itong kunan talaga ng dugo sa bedside. Pero po naa-upset kasi ang magulang, lalo na ang lola, pag umiiyak ang bata. So usually, the doctor, the nurse, or the midwife will bring them to another room so that the blood can be taken from the heel and then put on the filter card. And it is taken after the 24-hour of life. So it really started in 1996, a bold step done by 24 hospitals. But we're very happy to mention that now, as of the end of 2023, we are actually in every hospital and birthing center across the country in the 7,600 islands of our country. There are 1.2 million babies born last year, and we were able to cover 94.6% of the babies. Now, let me go through some reasons why this program is successful. Number one, we were very happy because we were able to pass the Newborn Screening Act of 2004, or RA 9288. I consider this a strategy for success. It really put Department of Health as the lead agency. Number two, it's covered by insurance. Number three, at UP Manila, we had a new office called the Newborn Screening Reference Center at NIH, who served as a technical partner of the Department of Health. The obligation to inform is actually given to the health workers, and probably the most important bullet for our the hospitals and birthing centers is that it is a requirement for licensure and accreditation. Ang ibig sabihin po nito, kung hindi sila nag-newborn screening, ay hindi po sila mabibigyan ng lisensya para mag-operate as a hospital or birthing center. Through the years, we have engaged all our secretaries, and I think it's very important for us to let the secretary know how the program is helping the country in terms of saving babies from retardation and death. And of course, our current secretary is much on board into the program. The second reason for its success is that there is actually a standard system in the whole country. That means saan ka man, hospital, birthing center, if you notice, we start with the education of the family. Even before they enter the hospital birthing center, they are aware about newborn screening, so that by the time a sample is taken, they say yes, and then the sample is brought to the lab through one of the courier services. So in other words, the sample that's taken in your hospital is picked up every day and then brought to the lab. And then in the lab, the results are, when available, they are brought back to the hospital so that it can be released to the parents. Now, we have grown. Noong 1996, we started really only with 5. We are now screening for 29 conditions. So, regardless from Batanes to Hulo, parehong-pareho po ang nangyayari. No? And I put emphasis on the education before the baby is even born. The third factor of success of our program is that we've been able to bring down the cost of screening. And one way of doing this is to regionalize the location of the labs. Alam niyo po, mahal kasi magtayo ng laboratorio. Kung ang bawat ospital ay magtatayo ng laboratorio, ay hindi po ganyan ang halaga ng newborn screening. Tataas po ng husto. So ako gusto ko pong magpasalamat sa ating mga host, Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital and Medical Center, the National Institutes of Health, West Visayas State University Medical Center, Angeles University Foundation Medical Center, Daniel Mercado Medical Center, Eversley Child Sanitarium and General Hospital, at ang Southern Philippines Medical Center. Ang ibig sabihin po nito, pinaghati-hatihan po nila lahat ng babies across the country at sila po ang nagpapatakbo ng ating laboratorio. Ito po ating litrato on the right side. This is a group photo just taken last month. There are 300 staff across the country actually processing the samples right now. Another factor for success of the program is that we were able to develop a very efficient program of referral. So maybe for our physicians, I notice we have many physicians here in the webinar. There's such a thing as a short-term follow-up and a long-term follow-up. The laboratories that I recognized in the previous slide are called Newborn Screening Center, which means they will run the test, but they will also do the short-term follow-up. A short-term follow-up means they will close the case. Positive ba o negative? Kung normal. Pero pag positive ang result ng screening test, the patient has to be recalled. And a second test will have to be done called confirmatory testing. If If the hospital or the birthing center will have difficulty recalling the patient, the Department of Health comes on board. Hahanapin po nila ang pasyente maski po siya ay nasa island community o nasa bundok. Kapag po na-confirm na ang diagnosis, lilipat po sila sa panibagong path. Ito po yung tinatawag ngayon na newborn screening continuity clinic na nag-aasikaso ng long-term follow-up. What does it mean? Lifetime care ang kailangan. So that means kailangan po meron silang a set of doctors at titingin sa pasyente. At ito po ang ginagawa ng newborn screening continuity clinic. At kung ano man po ang ginagawa dito sa continuity clinic, ito po ay protocol na binibigay sa atin ng experts panel. Kaya po pag nakikita nyo dito sa slide nito, the screening, getting the sample is only the first step. Marami pa ho tayong gagawin. Now, one of the things that we recognized really in 2014 is that we really have very few specialists across the country. So if there's one, the next factor of success I will mention is that we have a dedicated set of clinicians taking care of the continuity clinics. What does this mean? Across the country, we have set up continuity clinics to take care of our patients who have been confirmed with a diagnosis. Napakahirap po, no? There are only 20 geneticists. There are only 40 endocrinologists and a little bit more than 100 pediatric hematologists. So in other words, in a population of 110 million, and then with hundreds of thousands being followed up, kulang po talaga ang espesyalista natin. So ito pong protocol natin dito sa continuity clinic ay sila po ang nag-aasikaso para ho i-refer. And of course, we can have telemedicine. Hindi pa ho nagko-COVID, telemedicine na po kami dahil kulang nga po ang ating mga espesyalista. Yung satellite clinic po, these are small clinics that are taking care of just 1 or 2 patients kasi po island community or up in the mountain. At ang reason po namin tinayo talaga ay we actually added additional centers for human genetic services because in the past, they were all going to Manila and it was impossible for Manila to handle them. The other factor of success is all the experts are on board. If you notice, there is a committee for every condition that is in the panel. And they are in charge of coming up with the algorithm of screening. Ano ba ang cut-off? Paano ba sasabing positive? Ano ba ang test na gagamitin para mag-confirm? Paano ba siya gagamutin? Meron din po tayong frequently asked questions sa website. Sila po ang nag-check kung tama pa ang nakalagay. Iba po ang FAQ para sa doctors at ibang FAQ para sa patients. The next factor of success is having assessment tools. Alam niyo po, napakahirap kapag meron kayong 7 labs across the country and you want them to have exactly the same quality being given to the baby. So what we've done is we've come up with a system of quality testing for the labs. At kung napansin niyo po dito, even the centers of health development offices at the regional offices of DOH are also being tested whether they are performing their mandate. And even the birthing centers and the hospitals are being checked. Ginagawa ba nila ang role nila? I think it's very important for us to understand that if not for the quality testing, then we have no assurance that the trust will be sustained. And I know that the trust is sustained because we have commitment to maintain the quality of our testing and also of the program. The seventh factor of success is we really have a very dynamic program on education advocacy. Everybody in the webinar is very familiar with this poster. This poster has been in the hospitals for the past 20 years. A request of the pediatricians to show a poster of a baby who has been saved. And a baby who was not saved. So everybody knows this at para po hindi nakakaalam dito, pareho po ang kondisyon nila. Ang kondisyon nila ay tinatawag na congenital hypothyroidism. They are missing an enzyme at napakasimple po ng gamot at napakamura. Pero kailangan lang po talagang ibigay ang gamot shortly after birth. Ang window lang po talaga natin is the first 2 weeks of life. So the girl here, Janelle, was screened and then saved, and now she's actually an engineer. And of course, JR was not screened and up to now is of course severely retarded. So I guess, a poster, a picture really paints 1,000 words, and this poster has brought a lot of hope to our patients, our new mothers, our new parents, to our lolas when they this picture, that assuring them that by doing the test can also save their baby kung positive siya. Of course, with time, we have moved from traditional media to digital. From brochures, poster, the newsletters. We used to distribute comic books across the country, but now we have gone into the Facebook, the Twitter, and of course the website. And I guess, just like any other program, we just have to continue adapting to technology, whatever we have on hand. Now, one of our latest ones is we have come up with a webinar series, and this is actually available at YouTube. And practically, all the basic information about newborn screening you will be able to find here. And this is also hosted by TVUP and available at YouTube, available at the website of TVUP. At abangan po natin this coming June. We already finished screening. We already finished the taping of season 2, and you can see it's just there's a lot of effort that goes into it, because we want to make sure we're able to reach out as many people on the ground. Now, this is the 28-year journey, and for us, who are the implementers, we are inspired by what has happened through the years. But I want to show you that it really started only in 1996 as a simple research, because we wanted to actually give the data to government to adopt it as a national program. So we started out as research. We first got our first endorsement actually from DOH close towards the end of that decade. And, it's been really slow. And finally, we got a presidential proclamation on 2003 declaring the 1st week of October as Newborn Screening Awareness Week. We got the law. It got covered by insurance. But my message here is that the law and coverage of insurance are merely tools. If you notice, the climb has also been slow and long. By the time that at the beginning, PhilHealth was only paying for 90%. By the time that they opted to cover 100% and then eventually covered the 29 conditions, you can see how important coverage by insurance is to the ordinary patient and also to the implementer of the program. If you look at this screen also, you can see that we added conditions as needed. And as a matter of fact, if I can mention, because actually I'm a geneticist, from day one, I wanted to screen for MSUD because I was getting them in my clinics severely retarded and about to die. And I know that screening can make a difference. It is a journey that's really long and needs the engagement of everybody on the ground. When COVID struck, just before COVID happened, our coverage was really already 93.5%. Oh, nakakatuwa ito, no? The yellow bar is expanded newborn screening. The blue is actually the original 6 conditions. And but when COVID happened, we were worried, because if you remember, the samples are taken by the courier service from the respective hospitals and birthing center. With the borders that closed, we thought the program will die. But as you can see in the screen, it has been sustained. And I will tell you that even we were surprised. And as a matter of fact, right now, we are screening close to 95% of the population across the country. I want you to take a look at the number of screening facilities up here. From 24, we are now up to 7,000 facilities. And I have to give the credit to the hospitals and birthing centers, because they were the ones who made this happen. How? When the pandemic happened, together with the Department of Health, they actually found way to let the samples cross the border. If you notice, the streets were empty, but the hospital coordinators And the Department of Health did not allow this to be a hindrance. Sabi nga nila, pwedeng gawing excuse ang COVID. But this program found a way to let the samples go forward. So our hospital coordinators actually tapped the police, the Bureau of Fire Protection Officers, PNP, the Coast Guard, the Army, and even the Navy officers, the Navy, because Batanes is actually an island. I mean, these were ideas that came from the ground. These were ideas that did not come from me. But the point is they were willing to make sure that they continued to save the babies because if the test is not done, then they probably could be losing a baby along the way. So I'd like to thank all the hospitals and birthing centers, all the coordinators across the 7,000 islands, 7,600 islands for making it happen because of them, the program did not suffer. Actually, in the international platform, this is really considered as a model of resilience. You know, saving babies cannot end when there is a disaster. We have floods, we have earthquakes, and now we had COVID. But I can tell you that through the earthquakes, through the floods, this program happened and is sustained. So for us to be able to screen 95% of the population, this is really the spirit of the whole program down to the ground. So as of today, we have saved more than 300,000 babies and from retardation and death, and every day we are saving a baby. So, but despite the fact it's very successful, we still have a lot of challenges. You know, recalling a patient up in a mountain, babies who are born at home. I just answered a question in the chat. Paano daw yung nanganak sa bahay? Then you have to bring the baby to the nearest hospital or birthing center so that the test can be done. We lack specialists. You know, we still want to treat all the children. But one thing is important is, you know, when the disaster and the pandemics come, it's really a whole of society and whole of government. And the Philippines has disaster. So there's nothing we can do. We have to deal with it. But as we say, saving lives cannot stop with disaster and pandemics. We are ready regardless of what happens. So I'd like to actually share, you know, some lessons that we've picked up along the way. Let me see. I'd like to share with you, you know, Dr. Domingo here is my mentor. Came back in the 60s. And when she came back from the US, she really wanted to already start newborn screening in the Philippines. And but, you know, nobody wanted to believe her. Nobody wanted to fund her. It was difficult. And I remember that, you know, we started the program in 1996. And she was telling me that for close to 2 decades, she almost gave up and she said nobody wanted to fund her, not from the private sector, not from the government. So my first lesson is that you've got to be courageous, you know, if you have a passion, and then you have to share ideas. When I came in, my interest was genetics, but we realized that there were more people, more pediatricians, midwives, nurses who were sharing our passion and dream. So you have to tell the people. So if you notice here, you've got to be committed all the way. Marami hong problema. I'm not going to say that it's easy because I have a whole section of obstacles and frustrations, and that's the reason why it's very important to celebrate the small successes together. Maliliit lang po, sineselebrate namin yan. The third lesson is that you've got to collaborate. If you notice all the logos here, all the logos that you can actually see here have been part of the program, and there are more logos that I can actually share with you. Most especially during the time of crisis, you'll notice that the collaboration made a difference. Government to government, government to private, because saving babies is not for the private or for the government, it's for everybody. And my last lesson here, as you can see, is that we have to continue improving the program because there's always room for improvement. So at the end of the day, you can say that the whole program really is a whole, it has to be a whole of society approach and a whole of government approach. So moving forward, where are we going? No, 95% pa tayo. But take a look at this. In 2016, this is the Department of Health. They did the strategic framework for the years 2016 to 2030. And the target was that by 2030, we will be covering 95% of the population. We achieved that in 2023. So in other words, it is good to have a target, but when everybody comes on board, you can actually achieve it much sooner. So I really have to give credit to all the people on board, the the people behind the scenes, that will be the people at the Newborn Screening Reference Center, at all the newborn screening centers, at the Department of Health. We have a coordinator in every region, DOH regional office, all the private sector, everybody made a difference. In other words, we all made this happen. So where will we go? So now the program is really looking at, we want to find out who are we missing. Nasaan yung 5%? We want to continue improving our samples. And then, we also want to take a look at our outcomes. We're now at a stage of looking at the children whom we have saved. So the show is not over. And I think, what is important is that you, the viewers, whether you're doctors or from the general population, you have a contribution to this program. If only you become an advocate, that is the minimum, because it can either affect you as a mother, as a lola, as a tita, but at the end of the day, you're actually helping saving the program. So let me end with a testimonial from one of the patients we saved. And let me introduce Daniela. Daniela is a 25-year-old with congenital hypothyroidism. And as she described in the PowerPoint that she sent to us, living and enjoying a healthy and normal life. Pakinggan po natin.
Ako si Daniela Fabul, 25 years old. Alumna ako ng PUP Political Science. I used to work in a law firm, currently employed sa Momentum. Mahilig akong kumain, mag-swimming, mag-hiking, magbasa, at makipagkwentuhan. Lahat ng ito nagagawa ko dahil maagang na-detect na meron akong congenital hypothyroidism. Kung hindi dahil sa newborn screening, hindi ko magagawa ang mga bagay na gusto ko. Utang ko ang buhay ko sa newborn screening dahil na-experience ko ang mabuhay. Kaya maraming salamat po, newborn screening.
At dyan po nagwawakas ang aking maikling sharing po sa inyo. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat at please continue to be advocates of the program. Maraming salamat.
Alright, thank you so much, National Scientist Menchit Padilla. Marami po kaming natutunan at very inspiring din po yung huling-huling video from a congenital hypothyroid patient po. What did you think of it, Ma'am Stella?
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with Raymond. Ang galing ng presentation ni Ma'am. Tagos sa puso, Ma'am. Parang talagang lahat ng question ay nasagot ng kanyang lecture. And I think we have several questions from the floor. Raymond?
Sige po, we'll handle it later, a little bit later lang po as we move on po muna to our reactor. But to remind everyone lang po, no, we have been seeing marami na pong nailagay po dito sa ating Q&A box, and we still encourage everyone to put in your questions and type those in dito po sa Zoom Q&A, and sa mga nanonood din po sa playback, please take note po yung mga magiging sagot po sa mga katanungan. For our reactor naman po today, she will be giving po yung perspective po, the perspective of a parent whose child was saved po because of the newborn screening program. Please welcome po si Ma'am Divina Barameda. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po. Okay na po, ano?
Yes po, yes po. You can go ahead
Yes.
po.
I am Divina Barameda, mother of 2 children. I was among the very first recipient parents who benefited from the newborn screening. on January 31, 1997, I gave birth to my second child, a daughter who we named Janelle. My pediatrician recommended to have my child undergo the newborn screening. Dr. Ami-chan explained to me that this is a simple procedure to find out if my baby has one of the 5 diseases. And I immediately said yes, with no hesitation. Confident kasi ako na magne-negative ang anak ko. Nung minention ni Doktora yung 5 rare diseases, lahat ng yun ay bago sa pandinig ko at walang ganoong sakit sa family namin, both sa mother and father side. Kaya laking gulat talaga kami nung lumabas na ang resulta at nagpositibo si Janelle sa congenital hypothyroidism. Sariwang-sariwa pa sa alaala ko nung inakbayan ako ni Doktora Ami-chan pagkabigay niya sa akin ng resulta. Sabay sabi niya sa akin, hindi pa naman yan 100% sure kasi random testing lang naman yan. May chance pa rin na maging negative ang confirmatory test. Yung gesture of comfort niya yun made a big difference. Naging kalmado ko at that very moment. And so Janelle went through the confirmatory test. Sinamahan pa kami ni Doktora Chan at siya mismo yung pumasok sa nursery at siya mismo rin ang kumuha ng blood sample. Kaya sobrang thankful ako kay Doktora Ami Chan kasi talagang sinuportahan niya ako at inalalayan niya ako the whole time. The second test confirmed the previous finding. Ngayon, nag-sink in na sa akin na talagang may sakit ang anak ko. Magkahalong shock at panic ang naramdaman ko. At kung ano-ano na yung pumasok sa isip ko. To the point na nag-isip na ako kung kailangan ko bang dalhin si Janelle sa abroad to give her the best medical treatment. And but when I met with my pediatric endocrinologist, Dr. Shokswan Chan Pua, ipinaliwanag niyang maigi lahat ng impormasyon na kailangan kong malaman tungkol sa hypothyroidism. At inassure niya ako na ito ay kayang-kayang i-manage dito sa atin. That's the time na medyo kumalma na ang puso ko. True to her words, masusi niyang sinubaybayan ang paglaki ni Janelle. And on our part, as a parent, sinunod namin lahat ng advice ng doktor. Dinala namin si Janelle to each and every doctor's appointment. Initially, nagsimula kami once a month and then 3 months and so on. Aside from the regular checkups, Janelle had to go through various tests from time to time. Lahat ng ito ay kailangan to closely monitor and assure her well-being. Then after a few years, I was invited to a gathering of parents whose babies were saved from through the newborn screening. Doon ko din po na-meet si Dr. Padilla along with a lot of social workers who were all eager to save babies from mental and physical retardation through the newborn screening. Nakita ko at naramdaman ko ang sinserong malasakit nila, kaya't mataas ang respeto ko sa kanilang lahat. I was also inspired with their dedication, kung kaya naengganyo din nila ako na maging aktibo at ako ay nag-participate sa iba't ibang programa to promote the newborn screening. Ito rin ang paraan ko para to show my deepest gratitude sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Newborn Screening Reference Center. Kaya naman nung time na ni-request kami na maging bahagi si Janelle sa isang poster at humingi ng pahintulot na ilabas ang litrato nito, hindi na ako nagdalawang isip at agad na sumang-ayon. Sa ngayon, Janelle is 27 years old and is enjoying a happy normal life. Yun nga lang po, unfortunately, hindi natin makakasama si Janelle because of work. Pero siya po ay naghanda na maiksing presentation para masubaybayan po natin ang kanyang paglaki. Ito po ay kanyang photobiography. Ngayon, ganyan na po siya. And then, next slide. And ito po ang ilan sa mga news features na lumabas from 2003 to 2005. And then next, Diyan makikita niyo po na lumaki siya just like any other normal child. Naging aktibo po siya sa mga extracurricular activities during her elementary days. And sa pagdating naman po sa edukasyon, siya po ay nag-graduate as salutatorian nung preparatory at elementary. Nakapasok rin po siya sa Makati Science High School. Next po. And she also received an Academic Excellence Award during her college days and graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Consequently, she also passed the Civil Engineering exam in 2018. And dito naman po makikita ninyo ng ilan sa mga hobbies niya at extracurricular activities. Sumasali rin po siya sa mga contest, mahilig po siyang kumanta, at kung ano-ano pa po. And she also enjoys traveling. Kaya sa mahilig din talaga siyang pumasyal sa iba't ibang lugar. And lastly, ito na po, currently she is working as a field engineer in one of the leading engineering and structural construction firm here in our country. And ngayon po, aktibo rin po siya sa office nila at madalas pa nga po siya nakukuha as muse sa kanilang department. And that's it. Marami pong salamat.
Okay, Ma'am Divina, thank you so much. Very inspiring lang po, no? I keep on I keep on remembering yung poster dun sa may kanan, and then your subsequent photos on how you lumaki po siya. So very telling lang po, and yung importance lang po ng early screening po natin. Okay, so I think we can dive right in. Ma'am Stella, on our first questions, we'll invite National Scientist Padilla to open her video lang po, and then si Ma'am Divina to open her video also, and then we'll start the ball rolling with the first question, ma'am.
The first question is from Infinix, how about po ma'am yung repeat ng mga premature babies? Yun po ba problem? Yun daw po ang problem namin kasi po hindi na siya covered ng PhilHealth. Salamat po.
Actually, June na i-review din yung protocol na yan. There's really a protocol for sick babies and premature babies. And unfortunately, talagang ganun ang kino-cover ng PhilHealth natin. Maybe we can work on that one. But if medyo kapos po talaga, siguro we can reach out to the Department of Health kasi napakaluwag po talaga ng pagtulong sa atin. If ever it is a problem, we'll see how the Department of Health can assist with the finances.
So malaking factor yun, kasi some could not afford the cost of the testing. So I hope andyan may mga taga-DOH dyan na nakikinig sa atin so that they will be more generous in giving support to the newborn screening program.
Doc Stella, ulitin, i-clarify ko lang Kapag premature ka kasi, talaga rini-repeat ang screening. Hindi confirmatory test ang ginagawa. Okay? That's really part of the protocol na rini-recommend namin. So that means, isipin nyo na lang na it's an investment. Kung hindi man siya binabayaran, kailangan talaga siyang gawin because we want to make sure that the baby is fine. Basta kung may hirap lang, I cannot complain the DOH. At the regional office, huwag kayo pupunta sa central office. At the DOH at the regional office would be willing to help you. Yun lang po.
Thank you very much for that comment, ma'am. There is a question here. Will fetal screening be a standard in prenatal care? And will fetal ultrasound be of benefit in cases of congenital defects?
So actually, wala pa yan sa sakop talaga sa pinag-uusapan natin. Pero marami na akong sinagot kanina sa Q&A. Ang palagay kong mas relevant sagutin, i-share dito yung isang tanong sa akin about the physical defects. Kasi may nagtanong kanina kung paano ba daw yung club fit, yung cleft, etc. Yun ang merong linaw. Okay? So the NIH now, the Institute of Human Genetics is coming up with a pilot for screening for physical birth defects. Kasi po ang definition ngayon ng newborn screening sa WHO is not only blood spot screening but includes the visual one. Yung fetal ultrasound po ay isasalang ko po sa Department of Health kung anong magagawa, but I encourage the obstetricians to make their own lobby. Kasi alam niyo po kasi ilalabi niyo whether it's really it's something that should be included eh. Kailangan po kasi noon maayos yung network kung saan po gagawin ang screening.
Thank you for your answer. Raymond, do you have questions?
Well, question naman po really would be for Ma'am Divina. We've heard your reaction and really we've gone to appreciate po just based on the pictures lang po yung So how has this changed lang po your perspective on newborn screening, and how have you sort of become an advocate for it for other parents din, Ma'am Divina?
Actually po, nung nakasama ko po lahat, na-meet ko po lahat ng taga-newborn screening, doon pa lang po talaga, sobra-sobra na yung inspirasyon ko sa kanila. Actually, mahiyain nga po ako eh. Hindi ko akalain talaga na magagawa ko yung mga bagay na naibahagi ko sa pag-promote ng newborn screening. Parang, kumbaga nahugot ko yung lakas ng loob dahil sa encouragement nila. Kasi lahat sila kausapin mo talagang with all honesty, talagang gustong-gusto nilang i-reach out lahat ng babies. Tsaka talagang sinishare din nila sa akin yung lahat ng mga experiences. Yung nakakalungkot nga, may mga pagkakataon, iti-take ko na rin tong opportunity, meron pong mga magulang kasi na nandyan na na-screen na at nagpositibo. At sa kalagitnaan po ng treatment, ang nakakalungkot minsan hinihinto nila dahil lang sa tingin nila, normal naman yung anak nila. And then, yun po yung sobrang mas nakakalungkot na portion. Kasi talagang lahat nga sila talagang nalulungkot din sila kapag may na-encounter silang mga ganung situation. At sobrang inspiration sa akin si Miss Peching. Siya yung isa sa una kong mga na-meet talaga dahil ultimo anak niya marunong at may alam sa newborn screening. So, eto lahat talaga ginawa ko para as a way of thank you. Hindi ko gustong kunin yung credit kung ano man yung na-contribute ko kasi I'm just giving back talaga. Yung pasalamat ko talaga na at the time na pinanganak ko si Janelle, nandito na ang newborn screening.
Wow, okay, thank you. Thank you po, Ma'am Divina. Really very inspiring. Not often that we hear from the perspective on the patient side po, no? So thank you. Thank you for helping us out. Question for Enes Padilla. For those daw po, ma'am, na positive, hanggang anong edad daw po yung treatment at ano daw po yung nagiging basehan to stop the treatment, Ma'am Menji?
Okay, actually ano yan, that's where the expert panels come in. Kung napansin niyo po, may isang slide ako na Meron po tayong panel for every condition. Sila po ang gumagawa ng guidelines. Meron tayong mga guidelines na lifetime. Meron tayong guidelines dahil kung transient ang case nila. Meron kasi tinatawag na transient hypothyroidism. Meron din ganun eh. So, hindi ko sasagutin yan ng pangkalahatan. Ang sasabihin ko dyan ay kailangan kayo ma-evaluate ng espesyalista. Kung wala ho kayong pambayad, ay kailangan lang kayong dumaan through the community clinic kasi po sila mag-arrange ang inyong contact with the specialist. Okay, so iba-iba po. Saka meron po tayong mga sakit na preventive, kamukha ng G6PD. Preventive yon, may iiwasan ka lang. Okay, may mga sakit tayo na nag-aabang tayo ng complication later, not now. Iba-iba po. Kaya hindi natin pwedeng i-discuss lahat dito. Panoorin niyo po yung aming webinar series kasi doon po dinidiscuss in detail ang bawat sakit.
Alright. Ma'am Stella?
Ano lang, meron
Yes,
lang
ma'am.
po, sinagot ko ito kanina but I think it's good to share, no? Kasi marami na ako sinagot doon sa answer sa Q&A.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. Pero, you know, on the IPs, indigenous population. So, definitely, everybody's covered regardless of origin. Basta ang aking message sa lahat, kapag kayo po ay may pangangailangan, ang contact po natin talaga yung kung saan po kayo pinanganak, that's one, whether birthing center or hospital, at saka ho yung continuity clinic. Ang inyong pantawid po talaga dyan, yung continuity clinic, kasi siya po ang magko-connect sa lahat. Basta makapasok lang ho kayo sa continuity clinic, meron na kayong specialist. Kaya kung alam niya lang ho, kunyari merong pasyente na kailangan dalhin sa espesyalista, walang pamasahe, papasok na naman po ang Department of Health. Yung ating CHD offices, meron po tayong coordinator doon, i-arrange po niya yan. Kaya whether you are from an island community or up in the mountain, meron po tayong paraan para makarating kayo sa espesyalista. Yung po, Stella.
Ma'am, ako naman yung may question, ma'am. Bali kasi yung newborn screening, initially 5 lang siya, tapos later on naging 12 ata yun. Pero now you said it's going to be ilan yun? 20
No, we're screening 29.
29, yeah. So now all the newborn babies or kahit preterm or term, they can choose the 29.
Only 29. We don't do the 6 anymore. Automatic na ngayon.
Ganun ba? Hindi na so luma na pala yung alam ko. You know, I'm an OBGYN pero ang alam ko yung luma pa rin. Okay, so it's really nice to know. Thank you, ma'am. And also thank you for Ma'am Divina, no, such honesty and it's like an outpouring of your inner self, no. And I hope the mothers and the parents who are watching here, kasi alam mo, Ma'am Menchi, ngayon lang kami umabot ng ganito karaming viewers. Even during the pandemic, ang pinakamarami namin 280 o ganyan. Ngayon ka lang kami umabot ng 470 viewers. Wala pa yung nasa YouTube and the other channels, no? So, marami talagang interesado dito sa newborn screening na to. And it's very good that we have that continuity clinic. Kasi dati rin, ang alam namin, basta papadala mo sa pedya, tapos okay na. Now, hindi na pala ganon. So, for all those parents who are here, and you can also enlighten your kapitbahay or kumare, and others who are in that stage of giving birth and having children. Back to you, Raymond.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Stella. I think there are questions po. No? I think we'll just group them together. And this has to do with preterm babies.
Okay.
Kailangan, well, sabi po dito, kailangan po ba sa Manila daw po ba magpa-follow up NBS? May question din po dito. How about po yung repeat ng mga premature babies dahil naging problema po nila yung PhilHealth coverage? Those sorts of things, Enes Padilla. Ma'am.
Hanggat maaari po ayaw namin talaga makarating ng Manila. Okay?
Okay.
So, ang inyong talaga is contact nyo talaga is your hospital. Kung sakali po you're in a smaller hospital, then there are bigger hospitals within the region or the province. Diyan po ang ating contact. Matutulungan po kayo ng continuity clinic kung hindi nyo po alam kung saan pupunta. That's number one. Yung sa PhilHealth is another issue of the hospital. I think ang sinasabi nila paano yung nawala ng accreditation kasi sa PhilHealth, medyo hindi ko yun masasagot. Ang masasabi ko lang doon sa may mga nagtanong kasi kanina na kasi pag sa bahay ka pinanganak, hindi ka covered eh. Pero ngayon kasi in the spirit of, ang alam ko kasi basta Pilipino ka, covered ka. Siguro ang issue nila kung saan siya pinanganak, walang newborn screening kasi walang filter card. May isang tanong kaninang ganun eh. Ang kailangan nyo lang pumunta sa isang lugar na merong filter card and that should be fine. Okay. So, basta kung gipit, kaya nga nandiyan sa aking screen yung aking website, okay? You can just connect and somebody should be able to help you. The Newborn Screening Reference Center is an office based in Manila but takes care of addressing the concerns of everybody, from the lay to the technical, to the laboratory, to the community, and so on. So sasagutin po namin yung lahat, kaya lang hindi walang generic answer para hindi maguluhan na ibang nakikinig.
Okay. Ma'am Menchi, thank you so much po. I think that's all the time that we have for our questions. Maraming salamat po to our national scientist. Not every day that we have a national scientist po as part of our webinar. So thank you so much. And also she's emeritus professor po at the College of Medicine. Thank you also to Ma'am Divina Barameda for sharing po your personal journey and really your inspirational po na nangyari po sa inyo, your experiences po patungkol po sa newborn screening program. At this point, we'll be launching our panel evaluation poll. If we can have that on the screen, okay, there's 5 questions, 4-point Likert scale. I'll read through them and then I'll be greeting po yung mga nanood po sa atin locally and internationally. Number 1, the panelists demonstrated thorough knowledge of the topic. Number 2, the panelists were well prepared and organized. Number 3, the panelists spoke clearly and audibly. Number 4, the panelists used appropriate language, technical medical jargons adequately explained. And finally, the panelists contributed to new perspectives and knowledge on managing various key health issues. So we will not be closing this until the end of the webinar. And we'll take this opportunity to greet those who have joined us all the way from City Health Office of Ligao, Albay, from Calyang General Hospital in Santiago, Province of Isabela, Agusan del Norte Provincial Hospital in Butuan City, Agusan del Norte, Wesleyan University General Hospital in Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija, Tagum Doctors Hospital Incorporated in Tagum, Davao del Norte, and Aklan Cooperative Mission Hospital in Kalibo, Aklan. Internationally, we are also being viewed po, no? May mga shout out po, Binyan Doctors Hospital, salamat po, CHO Calamba, UST College of Nursing that we are seeing from Tanawan, Batangas, MOFMG, San Jose Occidental, Mindoro. Meron din po from Bataan, from Diliman, Hala Rizal, which is the St. Bernadette Maternity and Medical Clinic. Maraming salamat po. From Bulacan Medical Center, Department of Pathology, Laboratory Medicine, and Molecular Diagnostics. Internationally, before I forget, we are being viewed po, John Hospital, Taipei City in Taiwan, Villa Fontana Assisted Living, San Jose, California, and Nam Canto Medical Center in Vietnam. So maraming salamat po. Ma'am Stella, what do we have for next week, ma'am?
For next week, we have speakers, Dr. J.J. Cruz, who is the Division Chief of the Plastic Surgery Burn Unit. And so we expect a very, very interesting webinar next week.
Thank you so much po. And before we formally close our webinar for the week, we'd like to remind everyone that all of our episodes or all health updates webinars are archived for viewing at the TVUP YouTube channel. So you go to www.youtube.com/TVUPPH. Nandun din po ang ating mga health update shorts na tinatawag po natin. So maraming salamat po and we hope marami po kayong natutunan. I'll personally watch this on the playback din po. And this formally closes our webinar for the week. Magkita-kita po tayo again next Friday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. It's a date.
Together, we will stop preventable deaths.
So keep safe, keep healthy, and see you online.